All right, my friends, a question I get a lot is what state is most tax friendly? And I always say the state income taxes and retirement aren't your concern. They're just not that big of a deal. If your income is less than $100,000, the vast majority of states, California even, Maryland even, Illinois even, Massachusetts kind of sort of, but generally speaking, the states that you think are tax unfriendly, it's just not that big of a deal. And I'll share with you why here in just a second. And so the federal government is always a big tax. It's not the state. I cannot stress this enough. And these blue states in particular, it's just not that bad. And it inherently makes sense. I just had a guy email me right now, and I was kind of pissy about it in the email back. So I was like, how? He's researching, the most tax-friendly places to retire. And he says, I'll keep this short, and he gives a bunch of paragraphs. And I'm like, oh boy. And I just emailed back, said, this is pretty easy to figure out, I'll let you do it. His saying, Smart Asset is saying my state taxes aren't very high, so I know it's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? I'm like, you can figure this stuff out, dude. It's pretty easy. If you're taking the time to research this stuff, and you're using, Frank, I just don't understand how people they can't figure this out. It's who are taking the time to develop these spreadsheets and all this. How can they not figure out what's going on in the state where they're looking at leaving or going to? I don't understand it, man. It's lack of researchability, frankly. It bothers me. I'm not going to lie to you, it does. It's kind of like saying people, well, solar is going to take over the world. Solar photovoltaic, I'm saying now, not solar thermal. Oh, my goodness. Do you not understand how this works? All right. Anyway, so let's dive into this. My man is from Kansas, military, retiree, federal military. First, I'm not sure if he's military. It's definitely Fed, though, Fed government. And he says, I got to flee Kansas because Kansas is going to tax me too much. And I don't know how he doesn't figure this out. It's easy. All right, so we're going to go to Kansas. And we're going to look at Smart Asset. And we're going to say, it's just right here, dude. How can I do this? So he's got 20,000 of 401k distributions, TSP distributions. He's married. He's got, I think he's got a first pension of 45,000. And then he's got Social Security at 25,000. All right, so that's what, 60, 70, $90,000 of income. All right, and then he only pays $225 to the state of Kansas. He's like, that can't be true. Smart Asset is wrong. And then we read right out the gate, dude. It says it right here. Kansas exempts all Social Security income for seniors with an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less. Public pension income is also exempt, but other forms of retirement income are not. All right. Kansas exempts all Social Security if your AGI is 75,000 or less. And if you just took 2 seconds to figure out what your AGI is here, you quickly see that it's most likely going to be not much more than 75, if not less. I just don't understand that. And so his public pension is exempt. His Social Security then will be exempt. So he's paying tax on $20,000 or something like that. Well, I don't get why this is so hard. It frustrates me, man. You can take the time to research this stuff to see what the best place to live. It says it right there. Right there. It's the weirdest thing. Social Security is partially taxed. Well, partially taxed if your AGI is over 75. Public pension is not taxed. How could you not see this? I just don't understand. And then he says, what about other taxes? What about other taxes? You can find this stuff out, dude. By the time he took me the email, he could have just looked at this. It frustrates me because I'm like, do people... I just don't understand. It's like, do people not take responsibility to figure out stuff on their own anymore? I don't know. So they have high sales tax, all right? Well, what's the one way you reduce your sales tax? You don't consume that much. And I guarantee if you look at some of the goods that they don't tax in sales tax in Kansas, most likely food, prescription drugs. Property taxes are above the national average. All right, well, how do you reduce your property? Do they have a homestead exemption? I don't know. I'm sure you can figure that out, man. It's nuts. All right, so let's look at, we'll say Illinois instead here. So we're going to go retirement taxes because, I got fleet. Oh, let's do Maryland. I had a guy the other day from Maryland. I said, it's just not that big of a deal. And so Maryland's a pretty blue state. We're going to go to Maryland. This is where I went to high school right here. And I think where was I? I forgot what my zip code was. Well, I don't want New York. Give me a break. I said Maryland, though. All right, so let's go back to Maryland. Right there. When did I say New York? There we go, Maryland. The crabapple state. Get it? Crab. Get it? All right. So we got my man here, 19, whatever the zip code that is, 20588. I don't know what my zip code was. I live in Silver Spring. 25,000 Social Security, 20,000 retirement income from TSP or 401k distributions, and he's got a pension of 45,000. Pre-tax income is 90,000 bucks. He only pays 1,100 bucks in state taxes to Maryland. Why? Because Maryland exempts some types of retirement income from state income taxes, include 401k distributions, but it fully taxes other income such as IRAs, which I've done a million times. Be careful before you roll over your IRA. Maryland's the only state in the country with both an estate and inheritance tax because New Jersey got rid of their estate or inheritance tax. I forgot which one they got rid of. But anyway, so Maryland exempts some types of retirement income from state income taxes, including Social Security and 401k distributions. And I have a sneaky suspicion their pensions are tax-free as well. Public pension is partially taxed. Yep, there you go. I don't understand why public pensions are partially taxed and private pensions are fully taxed. It annoys me because that's definitely a benefit to the people who live off the taxpayers, the government employees. And that's not to slight them. I don't blame them. But why should they get tax-free pensions and the private taxpayers and the private pensions don't? It doesn't make sense. Well, because we made less money. I don't think that's true at all anymore. Anyway, so there you go. So in Maryland, you're paying $90,000 of state taxes. 1,100 bucks of state income taxes on 90,000 bucks. Do you have to flee? No. Give me a break. So let's say Social Security is $50,000. All right, now we got $115,000 of income. 95 plus 20, 115. You're paying 2,309. That's less than 2%. Dude, come on. You kidding me? That's nothing, man. Let me just check my phone, see my son didn't text me here for me to come pick him up. No. All right. Just not a big deal. All right, so let's go to Massachusetts and let's see what that is. All right, retirement taxes calculator, as we like to say. Richard from Amazing World of Gumball. All right, so we're gonna look at Massachusetts. Here we got 50,000 Social Security, 20,000 of retirement income, and we have a pension of 45,000 bucks. We only pay 551. Why? Massachusetts fully exempt Social Security. Oh my goodness. They do have an state exemption of just 1 million bucks, tied for lowest. And yeah, so there's going to be there's going to be a significant estate tax if you die in Massachusetts. Public pensions are not taxed where private pensions are. So basically, if you factor in Social Security not being taxed and your pension not being taxed, the only thing you're paying tax on is 20,000 bucks, and they got a flat tax rate of whatever it is, 4.5 or something like that, 5%. So there you go. So you got $20,000 of income. You pay after a standard deduction 551 bucks. The point is, my friends, your wages are taxed differently than your retirement accounts in most states. You've got to understand that. Wages, we have to pay FICA tax. You got to pay income tax to the state and to the feds. Lastly, let me just show you the great state of Georgia, by the way, because everyone and their mom thinks Georgia is not tax friendly as Florida and Tennessee. I said, that's not true. Let's see what these guys pay in Georgia. It's going to be nothing. You ready? I'm going to show you right here. So these guys in the state of Georgia, they're going to pay nothing. And it's you'll say, what? Georgia is tax-free. Income's tax-free. Why? Look at that, nothing. Because Georgia does not tax Social Security and provides a maximum deduction of $65,000 per person on all types of retirement income. So for me, 65, for my better half is 65. We pay no taxes on that money. Not too bad. Interesting. That's $130,000 of tax-free income. And we don't pay the same sales tax as our neighbors to the north of Tennessee. And we don't pay the same homeowners insurance as the neighbors to the south in Florida. All right, let's look at the great state of Maine. All right, so let's just use the same thing in Maine. Maine's a poor state. A lot of old people up there. And I think Maine is one of the poorest states in the union, actually. And so I bet this will be taxed pretty heavily. Let's see here. Maine, you pay $1,100 on all that same money. $1,100, man. Look at that. All right, let's get rid of the pension and stay. We got $65,000 retirement income instead of $45,000. So if you're living on $20,000 retirement income and $50,000 Social Security, you don't pay anything to the state of Maine. Let's do $65,000 retirement income just to see the difference. $1,700 on $115,000. It's just not that big of a deal. All right, hope this helps. Again, not trying to be, an ass, but if you're gonna do the research and you can't figure this out, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, just like it's just right there in front of you. Just got to open your eyes. All right, we'll see you